Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the price of QNT, Quant, and trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Quant. What is it doing? Where is it going? And to understand this, I just need to look at Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Where is Bitcoin? Let's go right there. So I like to talk about the 5 phases of the market. If you're new to watching this channel, then you might not know, but let me just explain it real quick. So the 5 phases is typically like this. You have a rise, you have a crash, you have a retracement, and then you have reaccumulation, right? And the reaccumulation is kind of like a box. So rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways box, blast off. Once more, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways box, blast off. And that's with a lot of different coins and stocks and different things like that. So for example, here's another example, XRP. This was back in the day, right? Before XRP went on this massive bull run. So you have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways box, blast off. Look how big the box was. It was huge, right? This is the base. The bigger the base, the higher in space. So rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways base, blast off. Okay, now understanding those 5 phases, let's look at QNT. But first, avalanche. For example, let's look at avalanche. So do we have 5 phases in avalanche? I'm going to show you a coin that doesn't have that, right? So let's check it out. So we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace. That's it. That's all we have. So we have a rise, a crash, a retrace. What comes next? Reaccumulation. Then what comes next? Sideways box. Then what comes next? Blast off. That's usually how it goes with crypto markets, right? You saw multiple examples: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. I haven't showed Ethereum, but it's there. And so here's AVAX, and it has not completed. Now, can AVAX simply say, okay, this is a rise, crash, and then we're going to continue on? Of course, right? But regardless, we're going into a retracement, and I think that's where we're at. And then we come down for reaccumulation and then go. Or we continue marching higher. So, those are the 2 options. The third option would be in this situation. You go, what does this have to do with quant? Well, you're going to find out right now. But to understand, to put things in perspective, I need to show you other chart examples. So, for example, the other option would be this is a pump. You have an A, B, and then we come down for C, right? A 3-wave move, and then we go. But all directions go upside, upside, upside. The difference is the time it takes, right? So now we understand that, right? Here's another example, ADA, right? We have a rise, we have a crash. Now we're going into retracement, still expecting more upside for ADA. The question is, do we come down into reaccumulation and then go, or do we just continue going, right? Or do we ABC? All 3 have the same thing, upside. The difference is time, right? For example, XLM. Here's another chart. This chart that I'm trying to look for charts that already completed its 5 phases or 4 phases, and we're ready to blast off, right? And that's what we're trying to do. So this chart has a rise, it has a crash, it has a retrace, it has reaccumulation, and it has the sideways box. Wow. Now this is a coin that I want to be in. And you say, well, what about QNT? Well, hold on, you're going to get there. But I'm leading up to it, and you're going to see, right? We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways box. What happens next? Blast off, right? Blast off. Because we already got the retracement, right? And the reason why I'm very bullish on an asset like this is because, look, it never broke its all-time high, right? Most of the coins broke their all-time high. They went up into their bull runs, and then they came down. Now they're retracing, right? They're retracing, then they come down for reaccumulation, go. But XLM, right, is way down here, and most coins are way up here. So why would I buy the other coins, right? I'm just giving you an example, right? Same thing with XRP, right? Another reason why I'm heavily in XRP. It's a top 10 coin. It's been in the top 10, and it never broke its all-time high. So think about that. XRP has been in the top 10 since the beginning of its life, and it's never broken an all-time high since back here. That is very bullish, right? And it has an SEC lawsuit that's now over, obviously, but not quite. And then it has the exchanges delisting and all the FUD around it. And I like FUD because anytime a coin has controversy or hated or anything like that, it's basically stored energy for an explosion, right? So going back, we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have a reaccumulation, sideways box, just like XLM. What comes next? Blast off. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month, but eventually we're going to work our way out of there. In my opinion, not financial advice. Nothing I say here is financial advice, just my opinion based off probabilities and other ideas from or other facts and other charts that have already previously played out. Okay, so here we go. Now we have quant, right? So now what is going on with quant? Well, guess what? Let's apply the same thing like we've been doing. We have a rise, check number 1. Great, so far so good. We have a crash, so far so good. Check number 2. We have a retrace, oh my goodness, check number 3. We're doing good, right? And now we're in reaccumulation. Boom, we have all, and also it's sideways reaccumulation, right? So rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. What happens next? Blast off. So there you go. So for example, just look at the asset as Sandbox, right? It has a rise, it has a crash, but it has no retrace. It has no retrace, which means what? Sand is expecting to go higher, a lot higher, and you can make a lot of money, right? Not financial advice. You can make good money in a retracement, right? Anytime you have an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're methodically correcting to the downside, it's like a big bull flag, right? So you're going to break out. The question is it a retrace and a continuation, or is it rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off? So QNT is right here. Sand is right here. Which one would you rather own? Exactly, QNT. Now, see, now we're getting it. So the issue here, right? A lot of people, they don't like that, right? So that's what drives people out of the market, right? So here's how the psychology works. This is how the human brain works, right? QNT is the best thing ever. It blasted off. And then it went into a bear. It's okay. It's in a bear market. And now it's going higher. Yes, we're going to new all-time high. It's great. But then what did it do? It just stalled out, and now it's going into reaccumulate. Now, a lot of people turned on quant. A lot of people don't like it anymore, right? So, for example, like Sandbox is barely right here, right? People still dig it, right? And then when it's going to get up here, they're going to love it. But then when it comes back down for reaccumulation, they're going to hate it again. And when it's hated its most is when it does nothing, right? Sideways, right? You see the memes out there with the little stick figure pointing, has the stick, right? And he's poking at something and he goes, "Come on, do something." That is this right here. It's sideways accumulation. It's driving people nuts. It's not doing anything. It's going sideways, just like XLM, just like XRP, right? And what does that mean? That means it's driving retail out of the market. What does that mean? That means supply is being absorbed, right? Retail is, they can't handle waiting. It's not doing anything. They see Bitcoin pumping. I'm going to go chase Bitcoin. I have a video on why you shouldn't do that, why you should stick with alts, because Bitcoin likes to pump first. And when it consolidates, then the alts catch up and pump. But as of right now, QNT is just going sideways, right? Just like XRP. Look how long XRP has been going sideways, just using that as an example, right? since June, May of 2022. So May 2023, May 2024, almost 2 years. Well, no, over 2 years, right? May 2024, that would be 3 years. So it's been going sideways for 3 years. And what is that doing? It's driving people nuts. It's pushing them out of the market. And what is the smart money doing? They're accumulating. Why? Because they see that this thing is primed. They understand that this is getting ready to go. And the way you can see is, look, you have a cup and now it's forming a handle. Now we need to curl up this handle here, right? There's your neckline. There's your cup and handle. You break the neckline, you back test, you go, right? These are just ideas, but these are ideas based on what we know, right? I mean, going back here, you couldn't see it because the data is not there, but here was your rise, here's your crash, here's your retrace, here's your reaccumulation, go. Okay, perfect. Now that we established that, now what? Now, is there anything else? Now we understand that where we are in the phases, right? Now what? Well, what I really like here, let me actually zoom in a little more. Let's go to the daily chart. You can see, now I'm just going to run some ideas here, right? So this would be 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 waves, so that's wave 1. We come down for wave 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have A, B, C. And now this is A, B, and now we're in a long C wave, which is like 5 waves, right? But it's not really, it's like a flat C, right? Normally, like an ABC would be A, B, and then C, taking out this low here. And it kind of did, right? But it's doing it in an elongated way, which is actually more bullish because it's like a spring, right? It's springing, it's coiling up, right? Which would lead to what? More upside. And notice this right here. Notice how it's impulsing, right? But then when it's coming down, it's correcting. See all this chop, 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 chop. It's going down. So anytime you have a downward channel and it's just chopping it with an impulse, right? That's kind of like a bull flag in a way. It's not technically a bull flag, but that's usually what it is. If the channel was going up, it usually breaks down. If the channel's going down, it usually breaks out. So it's always contrary, right? So when you look at QNT, and if you've been holding it for a while, you may be frustrated with it because of the bleeding nature of it, right? But this bleeding nature needs to happen, right? It needs to happen this way. And what I like about it here is this could be a 1, 2, right? We have a 1. This is 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. We got our impulse. Now this is a 3-wave move here, right? So boom, that's number 1. Boom, number 2. And then all of this potentially is number 3. So it's very hard to read this, right, or count it because of all the choppiness. But basically, you got 1, 2, and then you could say all of this is 3, 4, and then all that is 5. And now that's a completed correction. And now we have an impulse to the upside that is challenging this resistance, right? So you have a 1, and then you have A, B, C, and now we're starting the next wave to the upside. So maybe we come down and back test these 2 lines here. Actually, let me zoom in on that. So we broke this range right here, right? We have an impulse, A, B, C. We broke the range. Maybe we go a little higher. A, B, C, come down and back test the top of this range, right? So we have this range, and then we come up here. We develop another range before we really get going higher to the upside. And that's sort of what I'm expecting here with QNT. I'm expecting a breakout, right? But we have to work through all this resistance. A lot of coins like the ones I showed you, a lot of them are only right here. They're only in their retracement. They went all the way down, but now they're just in their retracements. QNT already had a retracement, and now it's in reaccumulation. So we have a 1, 2, 3. The market moves in fives and threes. We have 5 up, 1, 2, 3 down. Now what happens next? Impulse. Now when is that going to happen? I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be next month. It could be next year. I don't know, but the point is we are on track for something very beautiful. Now, if I draw a trend line here, it looks like, just eyeballing, I haven't even drawn it yet, but it looks like we already broke out of this trend line. Oh yeah, look at that. See, we're already broken out. So maybe let me draw it from here and see. So you could see constantly here. There we go. That would probably be the best there. So so kind of like maybe like a falling wedge or a descending channel, like I stated, something like that, right? And we broke out. So here's the bullish thing. Check this out, right? 1 second. We broke out right here. Boom. So that's the good thing. But the more important thing, right, is what? The back test. Yeah, we break out A, B, C. We back test it. 1, 2. That's the most important thing, is a back test. You break out. That's the easy part. The hard part is confirming the breakout. In order to confirm the breakout, it needs to come back down to prove that buyers are in control, right? So when you break out, then the price comes down, then the buyers say, the buyers have to do two things, and the bears too, the bulls and the bears. So the bulls, they have to do two things. They have to pump the price out, number 1. Then they have to defend the breakout, number 2. Then they have to follow through the breakout, number 3. So 1, 2, 3. So, and so far, so good. We are on the right track, right? Now, let's try to look at this more bearishly. I guess you could say, right, that this is only wave 4. So we have 1, 2, all of this is 3. This is a 3-wave move, right? Which is bearish. We need a 5-wave move in order to be bullish. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and then we come down for 5. And then potentially backtesting this area down in here, which would be this area right there. So coming down to that's definitely possible, and maybe even likely, right? But regardless, if we do come back down to $73 for a backtest, I would look at that as an amazing buying opportunity and a very bullish pullback, right? But as of right now, we're basically consolidating in reaccumulation, because remember, we have all the movements we need. We have our concrete foundation. We have our flagpole that's planted in the concrete foundation. We have our flagpole, then we have our crash, then we have our retrace, and now we have our reaccumulation. So the reaccumulation is basically our sideways box, right? I'm just drawing the box out further, but technically it's right here, right? we're in this box, and you can extend it out, and look at that. That is very bullish. So, we just have to wait for, another wave to the upside. And basically what we would want to see is a breakout and then a back test. We want to back test all of this prior resistance, right? Because this is resistance, 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 right? You break the resistance, you come down, you back test prior resistance to make it new support, and then you continue higher. So there you go. That would be idea number one, right? Idea number two would be to say this isn't finished yet. And we have 1, 2, 3, this is 4, then we come down for 5, and then we go, right? Or the most bearish idea would be A, B, and then this comes down for C, breaking this low, and then maybe even, but I don't think so. I don't think though. That would be very, very big. I don't think so, because look at, here's your base right here. We already back tested it. See, we came up, we came down, we back tested it. We back tested the base already, and we retraced from there. So I don't think we're going to come down and go lower than this low, simply because this is our main area, right? So there you go, guys. I think that's about it for QNT. So what do you guys think? Are you guys bullish? Are you guys bearish? Well, for me, I'm bullish, but we want to wait for more momentum. We want to see a break, right? If we get a nice break here, then especially breaking these two highs, then we got to look at this as very serious. So let's talk about targets now. Everybody wants to know targets, targets, targets. Where can this thing go when it goes, right? If you hold quant, that means you have conviction that you believe it's going to go somewhere, right? Well, where can it go? Well, we can measure it in two ways. Basically, number one, you take it from the high all the way down to the low, right about there. And basically, we came up to the 702, and look at that, perfect rejection at the 702. That's why I really like the 702. A lot of people don't use it, but I like it. And we came down, now we're approaching the 50%, right, into this sort of golden zone, as they call it, up in here. So what can we expect, right? Let me zoom out a little bit to the 3-day chart. And basically, let me actually take this and put it on linear scale. Let's be more conservative with our targets. But basically, target number one, the very minimum, let me make sure this is actually right there. Okay. The very minimum I'm looking at here. So first of all, the all-time high for QNT came in at about $427. Okay, so $427, $428 all-time high. Okay, we got that. So my first target would be the 1.618, which comes in at $668. Obviously, you have these two targets down here, right? But I think we will definitely blow right past those, so I'm not even going to pay attention to those. I think these are the big contenders right here. It's say $670. I like round numbers, right? Let's say $670. So from where we are now, that is almost a 500% move to the upside. So between 660, 670 up to 700, that's almost a 500 plus move upside right there. So that would be target number one. Target number two, obviously, would be a full 4.236 extension, right? But I would like to have a pit stop. So my first selling point would be here. My second would be here, and my third would be here. And that would come in at 1681. So there you go. A full Fibonacci extension from where we are now would be 1681. 1681. Okay, so 1681. So I'll take that off the screen. And a little measuring right there. So from where we are now, right? We've been around $100 for a long time. So we've been consolidating, accumulating, right? So from where we are now, that's about a 1300+% move right there, right? I would say 1300 to 1400% is a very good likely target for QNT. So there you go. That's that. There you go, right there. Now let's do it more. On log scale, I should say. So that was linear scale. Now let's do the same target, but on log scale. So we'll do that there. And then we'll type this, and then we'll go down here, and we'll put it on log scale. Now things start to change. Now look at it. Now look at that. There's some confluence here at the 1.618. Remember, that was our first target on linear scale right here. So about $1,800 for QNT. Now, I don't think it's going to go to a full, I mean, that's insane. It's not going to do that. But I believe around $1,500. I would say you always want to be conservative, right? I would say between $1,500 to $2,000. That would be sort of the maximum. It would be 2,000. I don't know if it's quite gonna get there. That's a pretty big stretch, right? But I would say we can definitely hit around 600 to 800, or we can definitely hit about $700. That would be target one. Target two would be maybe around 1,200 for me, and then target three would be that 1,800, that that $1,500 to $2,000. So anywhere between 15 and 2,000 would be a good area. So there you go. Those are the two targets. Now you can do other ones like this. So for example, if I take from here, I pull it all the way up to here, and then I drag it all the way down. Let's see if we have confluence in these targets. And we do have some confluence, right? We almost have the 2618. Yeah, about $1,000. So 700 to 1,000, all the way up to about $1,700. So I think, I think the grand finale would be about $1,700 if we have a full extension, right? I think that is an amazing target. And we can also do the same thing down here, trend-based fib extension. We'll pull it from here all the way up there, and then we'll, considering this is low, now this might not be the low right there, but let's say it is, and we'll put that right there, and let's see what that gave us. So that's sitting around the 3. Yeah, so between 600 and $800. Well, actually between 650 and almost $900. So that would be a good area as well. So those are some potential targets based on Fibonacci, right? And yeah, so that's about it for the price of QNT. Now let's look at the short time frame. I guess we already did that, but just peeking real quick, let's go to like maybe the 4 hour. And what we see here is a potential, like I said earlier, right? This could be wave 1, A, B, C, right? And this is a 1, 2, and now we're in the process of a 3, maybe flag out for a 4 and then hit 5, right? Then come back down and A, B, C, and then we can back test this range in here. So we have this range in here, maybe have another hit to the high, A, B, C, back test, and then go, 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 go. right? So that would be one option. The other option, right, before, like I said, this could be like a wave 4, so A, B, C, and then we just come down for another wave, right, which would be the final wave, and then go. So those are kind of the two options I'm seeing at the moment. So yeah, we'll just have to keep playing it by day and see what's going on. So yeah, that's it for QNT. I appreciate you guys watching. I know somebody had requested it, so hopefully this video finds them well. And just understand, this is bullish. Look at this. I can't help but keep looking at this channel right in here. I mean, you could see how nice and tight it is, right? And it's like you have this impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's just like chop, 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 chop. So something tells me we're going to get some momentum coming out of here. Maybe we have one more hit to the low and then go, but regardless, I'm very bullish on QNT. And then also, something I was looking at earlier was this sort of inverse head and shoulders that didn't really play out, but maybe it still will, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder, right? And then I'm sure if you do it on linear scale, the target here to there, and then you take it right about there. So we still haven't really reached that target, which would be about $350, right? So maybe what's happening, I'm assuming that it's already invalid, but regardless, right? Maybe this is just like a breakout and then a super long, back test accumulation. But I don't know. That's just something that I noticed. But anyways, I'm really looking at this, like I said, as a concrete foundation. We have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace, we have reaccumulation, sideways, blast off, just like the examples I showed at the beginning of the video, which was Bitcoin, even Ethereum, and other coins like that. So yeah, there you go. That is QNT. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please, if you can, leave a like and comment, and I will catch you on the next one. And if you have any other requests, I think I had one for Matic. I'll probably do Matic next. So if you're interested in that, I'll definitely get that posted soon. So anyways, guys, remember, not financial advice. These are just my opinions and based off what I see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.